Hello, this is Ron with Midair, and in this episode I'm going to show you how to effectively eliminate rust in an eco-friendly manner, as well as prep and paint bare metal. To showcase the process, I will be using seat rails from my 911 Targa seats, and as you can see here, these rails have a decent amount of surface rust. My 911 is from 1978, so it's got some years of wear on them. I'll show you how to get from this, it's got some wear on them, man, to this right here. Just by using vinegar to dissolve the rust and the proper paint process for bare metal to protect the work you put in. Keep in mind you can use this process for various metal goods as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. And if you learned a little something, hit that like and subscribe button. Enjoy the video. Alright, so here I just got this container here. Filled it up with vinegar. Just normal vinegar. You could get it at the grocery store. This right here is the rails that have been pressure washed and cleaned with a brush and WD-40. You can see there's still some surface rust on there. So just want to give you guys kind of a up close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill it up, which I already did. Drop these in here. Now they move freely. Before this, there was so much stuff in all the crevices that, you know, it just was not moving. There's actually like a ball bearing. I don't know if you could see it right there. And the actual rail. So throw these in. You can see right there. Surface rust. We'll see how it looks in about, I'll probably leave it for like 8 hours. These ones look pretty good. There's just a few spots here. So here I have it all submerged. And let the vinegar do its work. We'll pull it. Alright, so it's been about 4 hours. I picked up a bigger container for because I want to put the E30 jack in there. So I also found this. This is part of the toolkit for the E30. You can see right here there's some rust building up on it. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm gonna throw this in the mix. I got some more vinegar. This is just normal store-bought vinegar. Between the two here, I probably have like 2 gallons. But yeah, let's go start. So I'm throwing this there. Let's go look at some of the rails. You can see here the rust has been gone, taken off, which is good. Keep it in a little bit longer because I want to get in between here in these little crevices right there. This is like the main spot here. So I'm actually gonna pull this out like this, place that in there. See how this one looks. This one looks a lot better. This right here. This. See how it looks pretty rusty still here. See how this turns out. jack. It's almost there. There we go. Oh, maybe I can. Should be good. Alright, it is morning time, and I'm here checking on our little vinegar bath. Let's take a look. You can see the rust kind of falling off some parts. This right here turned out pretty good. This was pretty rusty when it first came in, so it looks pretty good. Let it sit a little bit longer. There's a couple spots here. Let's look at this thing. This was pretty bad coming in. You can see everywhere the rust got to, it's now falling off. The inside of this is pretty. Oh yeah, look at this side right here. That just comes right off. See how this does. So what I'm gonna do on this side is I'm gonna flip it on here. This was pretty bad right around this part right here. You can see it just kind of being eaten away, which is good. We'll let it soak a little more on this side. Let's go look at the rails. The rails look amazing. Coming off fairly easy. Looks like this may have been painted one time before. Factory. Now the inside here looks good. Yep. Right here where the rust, there was pretty bad rust inside here. This is coming off, which is good. Don't know how far back this will go out. I don't know if I could break these. This right here, this is kind of where the factory paint is. This is not coming off. You can see here. This is because this part wasn't affected by any rust. So that looks pretty intact, which is good. We'll keep that there. Everything else is gonna have to go. So it looks pretty good. Give you guys a quick little not bad. So you can see this is just after a day. The majority of the rust is now gone. I'll probably keep it in another day. Neutralize it with just water. Let it dry a bit, and then we'll recoat with a primer and paint. This one's a little bit let's clean this up a bit. See right there? This was one that was the worst, this side right here. Yeah, this part right here, I don't know if we saw it on the earlier in the video. This part was heavily rusted on the surface. So I noticed for the rails, it was mainly the area towards where the bolt went. That's where we saw the most surface rust. But now, probably have it sit for a couple days. I mean, not a couple days, probably another day. It should be good. This one up a couple times. Pretty impressed with how the jack turned out. This was pretty bad around here. It's coming up pretty nice. Kind of clean up this area right here a bit. Let's clean it back up here. It's coming out nicely. Wow, this just shows you how much rust this had. Everything is pretty much coming off. You can see here there's some pitting, or not too much. It was first placed on this side, and this is where you see the rust here pretty much gone. So we'll keep this in here for another day. So it is doing its thing. Pretty impressed. I'll let this kind of hang out here. It's not affecting the rubber at all, which is good. So if you guys had any questions about any plastic parts, looks like it's holding up pretty well inside there. Alright. Now if you do leave it out, you can see here it's starting to, I guess, flash rust, but it comes out fairly easy. So if you're going to be pulling it out, you want to neutralize it with some water and get it coated as soon as you can. Hello, how's it going? This is day 2. I just let it soak a bit, but let's go see where we're at. Let's go pull out the jack for the E30. As you can see here, pretty much all the paint is or has been stripped from the vinegar, which is nice. Looks really clean. So this is kind of, I don't know if you guys saw or remember how it looked like before. This was pretty rusted. That looks good. Let's check out the frame rails, or the rails for the seats. Looking for any surface rust. Looks like all of the surface rust that was on it is gone. It's good. This here still looks the same. Clean. Yeah, these ones were pretty bad, but this looks good. There was a lot of rust like around here in the channel. Looks like that's all gone. Looks good. What else we got here? Yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is clean them up, neutralize it with some water, sand them down, and put some etching primer on it. That a lot of the paint came off. So that's just about that's just 2 days in that vinegar wash. So this is pretty nice if you don't have a sand blaster and you want to get the surface rust out in the paint. Leaves you with a pretty clean surface. Just got to make sure you pressure wash it after. This is the now you're gonna see it's gonna, I just washed these a little earlier, but it's gonna flash rust a bit. But when you sand it down and prime with an etching primer, it should seal it good. I'm gonna try to get in between these crevices right here. Booth here, just used wire hanger, cut them up. These are the rails. I primed it with the self-etching primer, and right now you just want to do light coats. It kind of goes on heavy, so this is like its second coat right now. I just want to give you kind of a little up close. Coverage is good, and we're gonna let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll do another coat. I need to move the rails back up to get the other side, and we should be good. So here is the jack. It has about 3 coats of the etching primer. In my homemade little booth right here, but does the job. We just needed to cover it from any dust and stuff like that, so works pretty good. Hello, so here's the finished product. It has 3 coats of the satin black. Came out pretty good. Right now I have it curing in the sun. It's been about 4 hours, so it should be perfectly set. So there you go, that's the finished product. We first used the vinegar bath to knock out all the surface rust. After that, we then pressure washed all the vinegar from out inside the grooves, and also neutralizes the vinegar. Prepped it a bit, scuffed it, Cleaned it with alcohol before using the etching primer. After the etching primer, we hit it with satin black. And this is all stuff that you could find at your local hardware store. Yeah, when you prep it right, it comes out pretty good.